Hey everybody, yo! So this has been awesome so far. I've been playing around with the new update, and that's what the video is going to be about today. It's going to be about the new update, the 1.1 beta. And let me tell you, I've been having a blast. It started off slow for me. I was playing around for between work, and then things started to speed up when I saw the openFPGA GBA and GBC stuff. And let me tell you, that is the cherry on top for this update. It is amazing. It takes away the need for an EverDrive. So we'll get more into that later on in the video as well. And this video will end up being two different parts. There'll be a part one and then a part two, which I will release later on. I don't want to, bombard people with too much video because this might go on a little too long if I did everything all in one. And I want to keep people watching. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you everyone who's been watching. Thank you all your comments. You're all awesome, and I cannot wait to talk about this one. This is actually a very good update. I am happy for it. And there's still some stuff I can grab about a little bit, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So thank you everyone, and let's get into the video. So before we completely start the rest of the video, what I want to do is we're going to switch over to the computer. I'm going to show everyone, the release notes, all that kind of good stuff, and then we'll bring it back to the Pocket where I'll show it to you on the Pocket itself. That way everybody gets an idea how it looks. All right, so let's just switch over to the computer now. All right, here we are on the computer side. I just wanted to get a couple of stuff out of the way before I show it to you on the Pocket itself. This is all awesome. I am impressed with the open FPGA and what people have already been able to do in less than a day. I'm talking about like a couple of hours. People already put GBA, GB, and GBC all on it, and that's crazy. And personally, my favorite part of playing it like that is the fact that you actually get the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance intro, which is awesome. I personally like that. I wish Analogue had that originally, but obviously for trademark reasons they cannot. But with this now, it literally plays like says Game Boy Advance. It's amazing. But all right, let's get a couple of stuff out of the way first. I'm going to show you on the website, show you the changes. It's very simple how to do it yourself. You drag and drop it into the root folder, and that's it. You let the Pocket do the rest. So if you're going to be doing the Pocket, you go to Support, you hit Pocket. If you need to do both the Pocket and the dock, you just go select both. Fairly simple. Now, this is where we are, version 1.1 beta, and I'll also show on their Twitter page at some point that they have already planned releases, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, we'll talk about that as well after I go through some of the notes that they have here, the instructions. Well, like I said, the instructions are very simple. You download it, you drop it to the root. Obviously, you turn off your Analogue Pocket. You take the SD card out, put it into the computer, and you drag and drop the download file to the root, pop it back in the Analogue Pocket, turn it on, and the rest is done by itself. So here we go. Here are the release notes. Now just bear with me. I know this is going to be a lot, just because there's a lot of release notes. So this might take a couple seconds, and a little more than a couple seconds. All right, so we have biggest thing first and foremost, openFPGA right here. Can't miss that one. Developer APF. You got SDKs, added library beta. So, you can see just the generic stuff. And I'll show that also as well, how it looks. What else do we have? Let me just in case. Oh, what the wrong one. Sorry. Give me 1 second. And that one again. Just want to make sure getting no sound. Yeah, so it gives you basic library details. I'll show that to you as well. It gets added memories, this part is cool. It gets 128 memory slot for all Analogue platforms and 128 memory slots for the openFPGA cores. So that's a total of, what is that? 256. That's what it looks like between the two, especially because you can play GBA games on it now through the openFPGA. And let's see, you got some basic updates for, I guess that's the EULA. You get settings. This is good. You get to add the date and time. Enables quick load added. Enable quick menu added. Startup action. openFPGA added. So that's that part right after you see the Analogue logo. It says openFPGA, and I'll show you that as well. Tools, you got developer, you got build added, USB SD access added, statistics added, pause data load added. Now, this video is probably gonna go a little long, so I'll probably end up splitting the video up. That way, people aren't just here taking forever. I want to get through this, and I want to show the big, heavy hitting points, and then I'll get more into detail about the openFPGA and what has already been done. Now, here, this is where it gets a little crazy. All the hybrid stuff here has been. So apparently, the hybrid GB and GBC games will crash if you do save state. Like, let's say you do save state while playing it in DMG mode, and then you switch to Game Boy Color mode, and you try loading it, it'll crash. Don't do that. Stick to one or the other. Easy enough. Now, there's a whole bunch of other fixes. You have sound fixes. You have flickering line fixes. A whole bunch. I recommend checking out the release notes if you see anything specifically that you want to see, because there's a lot of release notes for games specifically. One thing I will say which is disappointing is the EverDrive GBX7 does not work. Still doesn't work, at least for me. But honestly, with the openFPGA, I guess this doesn't really matter. We'll talk more about that as well. One of the things I did notice is that the real-time clock does not work on the openFPGA, and I'll show you that later on as well. Well, look, they do have a scaling issue in the EverDrive fix. So they are looking at EverDrives, and this is a big part right here, which maybe gives me hope that they might fix it down the line. Now, what I want to do is, let's go to Google real quick, and let's see if we can go to the Analogue Pocket Twitter page. Let's see if we can go straight there. Okay, let's see. They have a timeline here, which is pretty good. I'll take it. Here we go. The timeline. We are now in, obviously, July, at the end of July. So, looks like they're going to be ongoing openFPGA features in August. And honestly, I feel that they're going to push this out all the way to the end of August. So, don't be surprised if you see this at like the last couple of days of August, just like they did with July. They want to, I can see what they want to do. They want to push it out as far as they can. The DAC support is going to be September. Full button mapping. This is awesome. I play Pokemon, and that I would like to have, use the X and Y button like you do on the new ones instead of pressing the regular start button. So that'd be kind of cool. Libraries in September. This is awesome. Memories in September. So it's looking like you have screenshots September. The Game Boy camera, which I can't wait to try in September. New original display modes October, and tracking tools in October. So this is looking like this might be complete by the end of September. Now granted, I've got a feeling all this is going to be done at the end of the month. They just leave the entire month open, I guess, to keep people's hopes up. So that's awesome, though. I'm excited to see what they're going to do and what they're going to, bring to the table. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm just going to switch over to the Pocket, because I already went over this, and I'm going to show you what's going on there. That way everybody can see what to do. All right, we are back from the computer, and let me get up and let me go get to the Pocket itself. So, well, as you can already tell, here you have, this is in beta. You got little extra details. It tells you the temperature, tells you the hertz, and the sync. So that's pretty cool. That's one extra thing right there that wasn't there before. Now, this is just my custom. What I want to show is, let's start with the details. So the library, as you will see, is still grayed out. Okay, so I just want to go down in order. So the first one, obviously play cartridge, it remains the same. Actually, one of the first things you will immediately see is when you turn it on. So you still have the initial Analogue logo. There you go, and then it'll state openFPGA. So that's the first thing that's going to be the most obvious thing that everybody will see when they first turn it on. Now, the little detail section is pretty cool. It's a little empty if you don't download the library, pictures and all that stuff. And I'll talk about that in a separate video as well. That way you guys can see what you have to do there. And it's fairly simple too. It's nothing crazy. You drag and drop after you download the file. So let's play the cartridge. The first thing you're going to see is this before you actually play. It's a little detail of the game itself, and it's pretty good. It's spot on. If you didn't download the images, you will this part would just be blank. You wouldn't see anything there. You'll see the data on top, but you wouldn't see anything else. So that's pretty much it for that one section. Now, openFPGA. This is the part that gets very good. So you click on it right now. If you didn't have anything in there, nothing would show up. So I've already put Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color. So that way everybody can see. And I will get into that in a little bit. That's gonna be more of a separate video because I'm really gonna talk about it and show you all the different stuff, including link trades and all that stuff. Apparently you can do it, but I'll show you real quick. So you just go to Game Boy, for example, and I think a Game Boy game here would be, let's try yellow. It's fairly simple if you drag and drop. That's it, and it plays. It's awesome. I ain't complaining, and you quit. Now, this, I believe, has its own, let's try Game Boy Advance. Like I mentioned before, it has its own memories. And this would be a good opportunity to talk about the memories as well. Now, there are 128 different memories you can create from the cartridge and from the openFPGA. If you look here, you can see memories already. Emerald, I already created one for this Emerald specifically, so let's load it. Oh, that one didn't work well. Let's see. Load failed. And you know why it actually failed? Because they have a different save state on it. Yeah, that would do it. Got a little too excited there. I should have thought about that for a second because I did load. So you can actually just drag and drop the save as well. So I dragged and dropped the save from this game, the actual Emerald cartridge. I dragged and dropped the save from using a GB operator, and I plugged the save in here, and it did work when I did it on the computer. Now I actually don't have any clue. Let's see. Let's see what pops up right now. It might have overrated with the save, even though it said it didn't. Let's see. It's been erased due to corruption. See? So I actually corrupted it. All right, so what we're gonna do real quick is let me go to the computer and put the save back. That way I can actually show what I want to show. But you know what, actually, I'll save that for the next video. I don't have to do that right now. For that one, what I will do is, let's load Kingdom Hearts. Let's move to a actual cartridge. There it is. I love that. Just a little screenshots, those are awesome. All right, let's start it up. And I don't know, let's see if I have any memories here. I do have memories here. But you know what, I want to save a new one just in case. That shows that the memories can corrupt the save, so keep that in mind. That was more my fault because I tried to load a different save on it. So don't do that. Let's try doing a save now. So same button as before. The analog button and up. There you go. And I think you can, let's see. You can have more than one from the same game, which is pretty cool. I'm right at the end, the final boss battle on this one. Let's see, memories. There it is. See, I tried it early today. And then what we'll do is, let's make another one. Okay, I just did it again. Now let's try and load the one I just did before this one. Let's see. Yep, there we go. And let's load this one. Let's load this one. Wait a second, memories. Okay, so it's this one then. Yep, there we go. Look at that. You can have more than one. That's so interesting. I like it. Okay, so if you do down and the down and analog button, it will load the last memory that was saved. Cool. Save it again. That's cool. We can just do the first Kingdom Hearts one. Let's load it. Or we can just do Okay, so it loads the last one that was loaded too. Let's load this one. There we go, right back to here. That is very useful, especially playing games like these. Yeah, all right. The sleep hasn't changed. There it goes, it's asleep. Cool, open it up. It wakes. Right back where I was. Okay. Oh, you can also go to game details here. And this is all I'll show you. Nothing crazy, nothing like, out of this world. Now, you can also check out the memories right here too. See? Can't load it from there, but you can delete it. So let's delete some of these older ones. We don't need them. That's also pretty cool. Now, let's go to Tools. GB Studios has remained the same, except it looks differently. I mean, it does look different. Now, I guess you don't really need this the same way as you did before. I had all these games here. Now you just use it with the openFPGA. So that's pretty cool by itself. And then you over here is where you would toggle the developer stuff. Pause data load, statistics. This is what gives you the numbers on top. And the USSD access, which I gotta still play around with. There's still more stuff I gotta look at. Very interested to see how this is gonna play, how this is gonna act with other stuff. On a side note, which is actually pretty funny, for me at least, I was able to get my GBA movie player randomly working. Apparently this update fixed that. But what the update didn't fix was my EverDrive. That is still an issue. Still an issue. Now I believe it will load the last game that I played, because that's still loaded on here because I loaded that from my Game Boy. And this one was a ROM hack, I think. Yeah, ROM hack, Pokemon Factory Adventure. ROM hack. Okay. The problem is still the same over here with, let's see, ROMs. I don't know, if Aladdin, sure. I always go to Aladdin because that's the easiest one. Error, same error. So the EverDrive has not been fixed. Granted that with that openFPGA, it's not too much of an issue. My GB movie player has been fixed though, randomly. Let's see if I just had it working before. Yep, yeah, not sponsored by Nintendo. Here it goes. Let's go here. Let's do Supernatural. Okay, let's, I don't want to get copyrighted, so let's take the sound off. I'll only show for a couple of seconds, just to show that it works. There it goes. It works now. Yep, there it is. It does have audio. Not the best audio, but hey, it works. There you go. What else did I have here? I had all types of stuff here. I even had music. Yeah, this thing was pretty cool. Interesting. Yeah, I remember how you had to convert this to a special format just for this to play. And this playing itself, man, these things were a little bit more expensive when I used to buy these. Who remembers this? Come on. People gotta remember this. Compact flash is a 528, man. This 512. This one was a good amount of money back in the day. Makes me feel old when I talk about something like this. This used to keep me very occupied when I was in high school, taking the subway. And what else could I show you that's pretty cool? You know what I haven't tested out? Let's see if the images show up for this. Let's see if any details on ROM hacks. Oh, so whenever there's no details, it just skips. Okay, keep that in mind. No details, it skips. If there's a detail, it'll tell you about it. This is a GBA video. There it is. It gives you detail on it. That's awesome. It's pretty cool. I can't wait for the actual library feature to be like fully working, because then that's going to be amazing. All right, everyone, this is part one. Next one's going to be talking more about the openFPGA and all the greatness in that. So stay tuned. Later today, that part will be revealed to the world. All right, everybody. Thank you. Have a good one, and I'll see you later today if you're going to come back. Bye.